most guitar players, they talk about gas, guitar acquisition syndrome, gear acquisition syndrome, always wanting more guitars, more gear, more options, and the struggle that comes with that. I think I have the opposite problem. At one point, I had more guitars than I could keep up with. And instead of feeling lucky, it started to stress me out. And I don't think this is just a guitar thing. I was never really into acquiring guitars. I didn't even know that was a thing. For years, I was gigging and I had everything I needed. Three guitars, that was it. And honestly, I wasn't thinking about more. And then COVID happened. And my gigging, my playing out, that stopped. And around the same time, I discovered Reverb. And suddenly I had more time, more exposure, more options than I'd ever had before, and guitars I'd never seen or even thought about. And before I realized what was happening, I went from having just what I needed to having more than I could really manage. Somewhere along the way, I realized something. I'm not a collector. In fact, I think I'm the opposite. Because for me, more didn't feel like freedom. It felt like pressure. At first, it was exciting. Different guitars, different possibilities. It felt like I was getting closer to having everything I needed. But slowly, something shifted. I looked at all my guitars, and instead of feeling inspired, it felt as kind of a quiet stress. Which one should I play? Which one deserves to be played? Why haven't I picked up that one in a while? And then the guilt creeps in. Guilt about how much I've spent. And even thinking about selling something I'm connected to. If you've ever had too many choices, you probably know that feeling. And this shows up in real ways. I've had guitars I loved, but they overlapped with others, and then I'm stuck. Do I keep it? Do I let it go? Or a guitar that works great at home, but not at rehearsal or at a show. So then what is it really for? And then there's the day-to-day stuff, like putting in new strings. Some need new setups, some need adjustments. Because I actively play them, they all need attention. And when there are too many, I'm not owning them anymore. They start owning me, and that's when it becomes stressful. And somewhere in all of that, the simple joy of just picking up a guitar starts to get lost. And that's when it hit me. This isn't really about guitars. It's about abundance. I know on some level this sounds like a first world problem, but the feeling behind it, I don't think that's superficial. Some people thrive on having lots of options. They enjoy collecting, exploring, and that's great. And to be fair, sometimes I do too. When I'm not gigging, variety feels great. But when I'm in a band again, everything changes. It stops being about options and becomes about what actually works, which cuts through. So it's about what I can rely on, what can stay in tune, and what can be heard is what matters more. And that's when I realized what I need changes depending on where I am as a player. I'm always trying to find that balance between being practical and being emotional. I want guitars that give me joy at home, at rehearsal, and on a gig. Not 10 guitars that do pretty much the same thing, but a few guitars that actually work for my life. So when I have too many, it doesn't feel like abundance, it feels like noise. Like I'm trying to optimize something that doesn't need to be optimized. So now I'm trying to simplify. not to lose joy. Um, so not to lose joy, but to regain clarity. Fewer choices, but better connection. And something else I've noticed: the fewer guitars I have, the more I appreciate each one. And I notice the small things, how they respond, how they feel, how to dial them in. Instead of constantly switching, I actually spend time with them, get to know them, enjoy them more. I don't think I'll ever get it exactly right. There's always going to be that pull between variety and simplicity. And then there's another layer to this. At the end of the day, these are just objects. Meaningful, but just they're still objects. And one day they'll pass on to someone else, be played by someone else. I'm not taking any of these with me. And that's part of why I've been able to let some of them go, even the ones I was connected to. I mean, I'd rather see them go in my lifetime to someone who will actually play them than hold on to everything and wonder what happens after I'm gone. But I do know this: I feel better when I have less. Not nothing, just less.